Hey, it's Ryder. Thanks for listening to the KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. Due to some technical snags behind the scenes, this is going to be a quickie today, but we will be back bigger, stronger, and even longer in our next episode. Thanks again for listening.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Here's one from Jim. I think we have a new State Fair t-shirt. I'm from Minnesota, yo.
That's it.
No.
Yes.
Please, no.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, we'll get to work on the. We'll get started on the artwork right away, Ryder. That's gonna be. We'll have a full tee, a long sleeve, the 3/4 baseball sleeve, the tank, of course.
Oh boy.
And if you pre-order, you get an extra set of fishnets with those. We'll send you out fishnets. Oh, here's a pretty good one. Friend's daughter and daughter's boyfriend busted with a kilo of weed. Friend's daughter says, "Oh, we weren't going to smoke it. We were going to sell it."
Oops.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Not a good one. Speaking of which, in Colorado earlier this month, there was a multi-vehicle crash, and the police showed up, and the driver behind the wheel of one of the cars, well, he had a few things to say to the cops. Now, you may have said something stupid to a cop in your life. I don't think you can top this one. Check this out.
How much have you had to drink tonight, man?
Probably 10.
10 drinks? All right, cool. Do you want to do roadsides? You already told me your 10 drinks, Steve, right? You're pretty drunk.
Hey.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, like, I'm a professional drinker.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, like, I'm a professional drinker.
There you go. All right. Well, if you're a pro.
When the cop says, how many drinks have you had? He says, probably about 10. 10, and this, normally you would say, I've had like 3 when you've had 6. He says, if you say 10, you've had 22 drinks.
Oh, yeah.
If 10 makes sense to you, you've had over 20 drinks. The guy blew on the breathalyzer a .326, FYI.
Yeah.
And this was, by the way, this was a crash where nobody was injured, amazingly enough. I have heard myself say these words and immediately flag them as problematic, which is, I'm actually a great drunk driver.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't say that to a cop, though. I didn't say that to a cop.
Yeah.
I just said it to people, and truth be told, probably more than once in my life. But there was a time, and I do remember also going, okay, this is probably not something we should continue down. And this again, we're going back way, almost 40 years. But there were several moments when somebody would say, "Oh no, Steve's really good at this. He'll drive." Like, because we're all debating, can anyone still drive? And it would be like, I was like, just because I'm not afraid to put one hand over one eye while driving to make sure I don't have double vision, really a bad sign. And I'm not trying to glorify that at all, because it's just for the, there, but for the grace of God go I never get a DUI and I never hurt anybody. But not a good thing. But I can remember being very drunk and hearing myself say that and going, I gotta just, this is bad. This is no way to live, thinking this is a cool thing. I'm a great drunk driver. But I can tell you this, I never said it to a cop, however. So, I got that going for me.
No, they wouldn't see the sense of humor in that.
I don't think they would see that at all. No. Todd texted in, I farted outside the car once when pulled over. It followed me into the cop car. It was rotten, and it got me out of a speeding ticket. Yes, indeed.
Really? No kidding. All right. Mental note right there. Just to hang on to one, till you get home, or unless you get pulled over. Just,
Boy, here's a great text. In a nutshell, I got pulled over for speeding. The cop asked me what kind of car it was, and I had 2 big red Chevy bow ties on the back, and I told him, "What the F do you think those are?" And he says, "You don't have to swear, son." And I said, "Sorry, Dad."
They love smart asses. I found that out.
So I can tie in a couple. Here's another text. 651-989-ROCK is the talk and text line. Leaving Canada in 2000, Customs asked why we were in Canada. I said, just for the hookers and the weed. He just laughed and said, "You're good."
Yeah. Well,
Going into Canada once at the Ambassador Bridge in Detroit, crossing over to Windsor, tour bus gets pulled over. We're all inside the office while they're looking at our passports and trying to figure out how to just waste more of our time. And one of the guys on our crew said, "Hey, anybody got a lighter?" And we're just in the room, which we thought was an odd request. One of the other guys throws him his Zippo. and he's sitting on the floor, and it's the first time I'd ever seen anyone do it to this extent. He lit a fart. And I mean, it was, if you could have had a photo at the exact perfect time, you would have thought he was completely engulfed in flames. It was that big. It was astonishing and shocking and staggering. Not to mention, he did it surrounded by Canadians like customs officials.
I mean, that's...
And there was total silence, and then we all burst out laughing. And these Canadian guys, all these, like Dudley Do-Rights, are just staring at us like, you guys are all just wild animals. They couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
They thought we were the most hideous human beings they'd ever encountered.
There's a reason the Guess Who wrote American Woman.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's nasty down here. Don't come down here. You don't belong down here.
I had a date I met on one of the websites, an American gal, and you know what she did on a date? She lit a fart, I swear to God. And I said, you need to get away from me, American woman. You smell like a boar. And but,
Keep you warm in the winter.
You know it, man.
Light another fart, honey.
Would love to say hail and hearty hello to Cokato, Minnesota.
Cokato, Wright County. What is it? The Bait and Hook? Is that in Cokato? I don't know. I often get my towns and bars confused.
That means you're enjoying yourself in various towns and various bars. It's important to know that they're out there. The specifics, better left on. Figure it out next time. But Cokato, we're looking west today an awful lot. Cokato, good morning. Glad to have you with us here on the KQ Morning Show. What's the dumbest thing you ever said to a cop? I want you to think about it, and I'd really like you to call in or text. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and text line. We got a lot of text messages to get through, and I just remembered not the dumbest thing I ever said to a cop, but the dumbest thing followed by the luckiest break of my life ever with a cop. We'll get to all those in just a few minutes. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
We're spending a good bit of the day talking about how stupid we are, especially when discussing orders of business and life in general with police officers. Man, have we said some dumb stuff to some cops in our day. And we would love to hear from you. What's the dumbest thing you ever said to a cop? 651-989-ROCK. I got a lot of text messages to get to. But right now, I believe we have a caller. John from Apple Valley's on the horn. John, good morning. John-o!
Oh, maybe.
Hey!
Hey, there we go.
Okay, there he is. John, good morning. Give me your favorite band.
Favorite band, I'm a Parrot Head, so I got to go with Jimmy Buffett.
That'll work. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Golden Valley Lutheran College Football Royals.
I knew it. I knew it. All right, John, thank you for that. Give me your story. What's the dumbest thing you told a cop?
Oh, this is a good one. Mid-'80s, St. Cloud State University, I was lucky enough to have a date with the homecoming queen. So we left the red carpet a little bit early, back to my place. Like any college kid, I've got, visions of sugar plum fairies dancing in my head.
Sure,
and there was a section of still wet cement, and I decided I was going to lean down and go ahead and do a little heart with our initials in it with my finger. And all of a sudden, a squad car rolls up, puts his window down. He says, hey, come over here. So like any imbibed young man, I held my right index finger up, and I said, just a minute. I'm almost done.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
You bet. Next thing I know, I'm face down on the hood of a squad car, cuff thrown in the back, and, never closed the deal on that one.
John, I thought you were going to say you were face down in that wet cement. That would have been great. But I like that one. I like telling the cop, hang on. And I like you held the finger up just to make sure he saw the wet cement on your fingertip. That's very strong.
I just wish that there were camera phones invented back then, because that would be one to, oh yeah.
Where's that homecoming queen now? She's not listening to you tell that story. She's like, man, that was the guy.
I have no idea. I think she ended up being a Vikings cheerleader living in Egan and married, last I heard.
No?
Fair enough. All right, then. Well, it's a good story, John. We appreciate the call, brother. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, indeed.
Hopefully she found someone just as romantic as John. That's nice.
Really.
Imagine, though, if he had put him face down in the cement, then he could always return to that spot and say, see, kids, that's where I was thrown on my face by a cop.
That's exactly right.
That's me.
There's no mistaking that nose. That's your old man. I had a habit. I had a habit and a hobby.
Is that legal to own a hobbit?
Well, this was Kentucky in the 80s. You have no idea what you could get away with back then. No, I came upon a brilliant idea once with a buddy. We realized went out late when drinking, you don't have enough room to afford a hotel room. You just go out to the pool and lay down on the pool furniture.
No, yeah.
And then if somebody comes up, you say, sorry, I lost my room key, and there was no one at the front desk. You go to like a motor lodge where there's likely no one at the front desk. Right. With my buddy, also named Steve, and we are sleeping side by side on two of these pool bed, things that lay back, whatever you call those, with the adjustable back. We laid them flat. We're sound asleep. The plastic straps digging into our skin, as you lay there for way longer than the chair maker intended. And it wasn't a hotel security guard, but in fact, a police officer kicked my chair. I looked up. He's like, wake up. And then my buddy wakes up and he says, what are you guys doing out here? And I said, well, we're sleeping, man. Sorry, I lost my room key. I remembered the line, lost my key. He said, what room are you in? And my buddy Steve said, we're in the same room. We just couldn't find our key. And he goes, yeah, what's the room number? And as if it was a skit on SNL, I said like 401 at the exact moment my friend said 217. And we just looked at each other and we just sat up, put our shoes back on. The cop's just like, get the hell out of here. Didn't arrest us, though, which she certainly could have. So that was a good break.
Oh, yeah. I remember for some dumbass reason, Bar, South Dakota, walked out in the alley, and my buddy and I decided that we're going to tip over the dumpster. I don't know, but we tip over the dumpster.
By the way, needs no explanation, brother. I'm right there with you.
We don't know why. It was unspoken. He was on one side. We tip over the dumpster. Woo! The lights. He might have been sitting right there the entire time. He might have just been sitting in the alley.
Sure.
Waiting for a couple of hoople heads. We showed up. He jumps out of the car. Hey, what are you guys doing? And my buddy says, taking out the trash. How clever. What a quick comeback.
Nice
Isn't that
one.
nice? Taking out the trash.
Nice one. Sure.
He comes over. He goes, all right, you come over here. You're being cited for disorderly conduct. And I just stood there. I thought maybe he can't see me. Maybe I'm blending into the darkness over here. And he looked at me and he goes, all right, you, the one that didn't say anything, get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
and I thought,
nice.
For the first time in my life, kept my mouth shut and it paid off.
Go figure, man. It's amazing how often that is the case. Just run silent, run deep, keep running.
Yeah. Sometimes you go to the cops, though. Sometimes the cops don't come to you. Sometimes you say stupid things by going to the cops or picking up the phone and thinking this is funny to call 911.
Listen, I'm going in the house. Listen. Hold on. Hello?
Hi, Port Clinton Police.
Yes, I need the fire department, please, because my place is on fire. I need to make sure the hose is working.
Hello?
Is there hose working?
What is on fire?
I need the fire department because my place is on fire, and I need somebody to come put it out with their hose.
Okay, I need...
Oh, my.
Yeah, they showed up.
Yeah,
there's a mugshot of her looking very sober and very sorry. Not so
I'm
funny.
I'm sure there was.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
In Colorado, a couple weeks ago, a gentleman was pulled over. There was a multi-vehicle crash. Nobody was hurt, thankfully. Police went up to one of the drivers of the car, the driver of the car responsible, and body cam was on, and we picked up the audio of the conversation. If you want to talk about something dumb you say to a cop, here's a good place to start.
How much have you had to drink tonight, man?
Probably 10.
10 drinks? All right, cool. Do you want to do roadsides? You already told me you're 10 drinks, Steve, right? You're pretty drunk.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, like, I'm a professional drinker.
Okay.
Okay. 10 drinks. First of all, he's copping to 10, which means 20. And then he says, look, man, I am a professional drinker. And I just like the cop. Oh, okay. I like the cop. Yeah, sure.
Cool.
By the way, not disputing not disputing that he's a professional drinker, simply going along with it. My man blew a .326, 4 times the legal limit. I imagine he won't. I certainly hope he won't be behind the wheel anytime soon. My luckiest break in life followed the dumbest thing I've ever said to a cop, I think, because it could have put me in real trouble. Well, I'd already done something really stupid, I'm fairly certain I told you this story before. Early 90s, I had a car phone, as in a phone that was fixed permanently in your car. You couldn't take it with you. A car phone. And I walked out of a bar, had a few too many, and I had every intention of driving home. No two ways about it. No, I'm fine. I can totally drive. It's only a mile or 4. And I got in my car, and I turned the car on. And before I even put my hand to put it in drive, there's a knock on the window of the car. There's a cop right there. I mean, I did this. I walked out the front door of a bar, walked into a car, turned it on, and there's a cop right there who I had not noticed. He knocks on the window. I put my window down, and he says, "Sir, I need you to turn off your car and step out." And I go, "I'm not going anywhere." He goes, "You need to step out." And I go, "Yo, dude, what?" And I'm just trying to think, what am I going to say? And he goes, he goes, "I just watched you walk out of that bar, and you need to step out of the car." And I said, "I'm not planning to drive anywhere." And he just gave me a look. And I said, "No, I turned my car on because I have to have the car on to turn on my phone. I'm calling a taxi." and he just looked at me, and then I must have had that look on my face, which was like, I think I can actually get away with this one, because he goes, "Oh, that's why you're here." And I said, "Yeah, do you see right there?" And the phone it lit up and it makes the beep, like, and he goes, "You're calling a taxi." And I said, "Yes, I'm calling a taxi." And he goes, "What's the number?" And of course it's 7777777. And he was like, they do that so drunk people can remember the number. And he just looked at me and goes, "Why didn't you use the payphone in the bar?" And I said, it's out of order. Not knowing if that's true or not.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, I'm doubling down on a double down on this one. And he says, "Turn your car off and let's go check." And we walked to the back of the bar, and it's like my baton death march, because I'm like, and I'm thinking, I can tell him, "Dude, I didn't hear I thought there was no dial tone. I'm sorry." And he picked that phone up and he put it to his ear, and he just looked at me and he hung it up and he goes, "Let's go call that cab." The phone was out of order. I had no idea.
Thank you, Jesus.
I'm telling you, man, it's true. I was like, no man on earth has been happier to step into the back of a nasty ass cab than me 5 minutes later.
Yeah. You caught him off guard. He probably hadn't pulled over or approached many people at that point. You weren't pulled over, but approached that had phones in their
car phone,
yeah. New thing, yeah. Now, I don't think you get away with that one right now.
I don't think you would. 651-989-ROCK is your talking text line. This is a pretty good text. I got pulled over for speeding on a Wednesday night. The cop asked me where I was headed. I said, "Church." The cop says, "Do you always speed like a bat out of hell to church?" Good one from the officer, and I didn't get a ticket. That is a good one. Yeah. I like that. I appreciate that.
What would Jesus do?
Here's a text very simply. "No one was sober enough to get our pizza order from the bar, so I texted our town cop to do it." That's a small town when everybody's got the cop's number in their phone. Yeah. I like that. I like the idea of it. Just text the cop, the town cop. There's one guy.
Yeah, no, Tommy Mendel. We had one in the county where I grew up. Just one in the county, Tommy Mendel, and he lived in our little town there of Woolsey, South Dakota. And I do remember he pulled me over one time. He did let me go. He's like, "Brian, all right, I want you to get off the road." All right, I got off the road, Tommy. And then on Thursday night, that was on the weekend, Thursday night, my dad walked in with my driver's license. Said, "I was having a beer with Tommy." He said, "You left this in his car." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Our buddy Tubby just texted in, "Got pulled over during a blizzard. I was blocks from home. When asked to do the coordination test, I pleaded, 'It's snowing out. My legs are really skinny.'" Yeah, that's not going to work. The cop did not fall for it. I'm sure that's the case. Dumbest things you ever said to a cop. Feel free to load up the text line 651-989-ROCK. While we await, you know what we do have to get to? One order of business. That would be your top 5 at 9. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Monday, December the 16th. If you're just getting up, congratulations. What's that like? Man, I wish I was just getting up. But no, it's 9 o'clock, which means it's time for the top 5 at 9 for a Monday. Number 5, Google. That company, Google, has a new quantum computing chip. I'm not going to pretend to know what this means. It's called Willow, and it is already quite impactful in the world of tech. Now, apparently, this new quantum computing chip, is performing computations in 5 minutes that would take the world's fastest supercomputer 10 septillion years to complete. Okay, if you're doing something in 5 minutes that would normally take 5 hours, I'm like, whoa, way to go, Google. I don't even know what this means. So the world's fastest supercomputer, Frontier, can take up to 10 septillion years. That's like 10 and 70 years to complete. And now a chip does it in 5 minutes. That chip, then it's all over, right? I mean,
it seems
the AI,
like overkill.
Yeah, the overlords are upon us. It really is going to turn into like Terminator 7, and we should all start saying goodbye to our loved ones.
Noted.
I have no concept of how how a quantum chip can be such an upgrade. That's like when I first got a car with Bluetooth. I was like, oh my, I'm in a spaceship. This is a little bit more than that.
You know, I'm going to ask the question I would like to ask. When are you going to end it all, Google? When are you going to just pull the plug on humanity for us? I'd like to know, because I'd like to start taking some loans out and have some fun. You know, because it's, I feel like the clock's ticking. They set the egg timer on this one. Why do we need to be that fast? Could you cure cancer? Ask it how to cure cancer instead of, a better way to beat a hangover, which is important too.
It says that the business world is already scrambling to figure out how Willow can solve problems in areas like drug discovery, fusion energy, battery design. For the record, yes, Willow has cured cancer, and it was overruled by the health industry. No. Hold on. Yeah. There's not a dime to be made in curing this. Yeah. Number 4 on your top 5 at 9. If somebody you know, or if you tend to text a lot and find you cannot multitask, if you are not able to listen to what someone's telling you while sending a text message to somebody else, you are not alone, because a study from the University of College of London said basically when people pick up a phone and start texting, they go temporarily deaf.
Very guilty.
When we focus on something visual like texting or even playing a video game, the brain will tune out temporarily normal sounds. So if someone yells, if a dog barks, if a siren blasts, you'll be like, whoa, what's that? But the never-ending drone of your family telling the same stories over and over, pick up your phone, send a friend a text, and just tune it all out, baby.
My family, we don't talk anymore. We literally text each other in the room. It's happened. It's happened.
Yeah.
Sure it has. Hearing and vision split the same resources of the brain. Hearing and vision, they operate the same area. And so when you're focused on one, it's tough to use the other. I've been aware of this forever. I love to drive and have loud music on. Like if I'm on a road trip, I will blast music forever and I can still focus. But if I'm parallel parking, you got to turn that radio off, man.
Yeah, I do the same thing. If I'm lost, if I'm directions, I'll turn the radio down by myself so I can just focus. What's that sign say? And I don't be, rocking along to BTO and miss my turn.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was taking care of business, and then I had to stop taking care of business because the BTO made me, I was late for my business.
To take care of. That's a cycle, maddening cycle.
Speaking of business, number 3 on your top 5 at 9, there is a new champion for draft beer in the United States. For years, Bud Light has been the most consumed tap beer. But now it has given way to an even less beerful beverage. Michelob Ultra, number 1 on tap in America.
That's owned by the same company.
It is.
Yeah, all right. So it's just kind of like an inner office kind of thing. Like they're going to come down the hallway. Hey, losers.
So, it's just a hot potato. They're just passing around the mantle, if you will.
It's kind of a
Michelob
lateral
Ultra.
move, isn't it? Ultra
I've had a Michelob Ultra. Can't say I've had one on tap. I mean, I've had that can because that's what was in the fridge, and you have it, and you're like, yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Doesn't mean it's good. It just means I always, when someone hands me a beer like a Michelob Ultra, I just assume it's going to be flavored water, and it's pretty darn close.
That's what my sister calls it, beer-flavored seltzer, which is her beer of choice. I mean, I'll go home. I'm driving back South Dakota. Can you stop and get 4 cases of Michelob Ultra? Yeah, I can do that.
Yep.
And then I'll pick up a case of Grain Belt because, I like flavor. And I'll come home, they'll be like, oh, look who's all fancy with their Grain Belt Premium. I'm like, words never uttered across the border in Minnesota. No
kidding.
They call it brain melt over there. But, take your Michelob Ultra, pull it from the tap, walk it straight to the urinal, and just dump it in. Cut out the middleman. Do it. That's fine, dude.
Michelob Ultra, low carb and fewer calories than just about every other beer, and now it's found its rightful place at number 1 draft beer in America. Right. Here's a crazy one from Portland, Oregon. A strip club DJ. A strip club DJ was attacked, not by a gentleman patron of the strip club, but by one of the strippers who was working there. Now, first things first. This club is called the Casa Diablo Vegan Strip Club. Huh? Casa Diablo Vegan. Okay. It's when you go to the website, it says Portland's world infamous vegan strip club.
This wouldn't happen at a strip club with, like the fine buffet, like down at Rick's or something like that.
Says it right on the website. Strippers and vegan food.
Oh,
man,
boy.
Oh, man.
That's going to make everyone a little cranky.
No kidding. You know what? It's kind of like, didn't we have that story that your body is actually colder if you only eat vegan food? And so this, to me, says you've got strippers in there. Well, hang on. That's counterproductive. If they're feeling colder, then I don't know. All I know is this. Portland is a wild place. I don't think of, when I think strippers, I don't think vegan. I just think good old-fashioned red meat. That's me. Call me crazy.
All right. Stab the DJ in the back. Here's the DJ.
I was basically on my computer getting some songs ready, and next thing I know, it felt like a 500-pound man punched me in the back basically as hard as humanly possible. So I turned around expecting there to be like a huge dude like about to fight me and hit me, and it was her, and she was standing there holding the knife. I still didn't know I was stabbed at that point, but then I took a breath in and I realized that my left lung had collapsed.
I think she intended to kill someone, and it just happened to be Duncan. When she was in the dressing room, for about 10 minutes, she seemed like she was possessed by a demon.
She needs protein. Yeah, needs protein.
She needs protein, and he needs a better song selection, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're spinning tunes on a computer, the game's up. You know what I mean? You get some vinyl, you get a turntable going. I'm gonna give you a break, but I don't want to hear about a DJ on a computer. That's how they've been doing it for decades. By the way, I still kick it old school. Speaking of old school, boy, you gotta love Chanhassen, Minnesota. So I'd like to say good morning, Chanhassen. Good to have you guys with us this morning. Speaking of Chanhassen, how many millions of hours has Prince music been played in strip clubs all over the planet? My God.
No, it's out there somewhere right now. There's a Prince tune playing at a strip club. Kiss.
Prince turns anybody's bedroom and or bathroom into a strip club. That's just how that works.
It's strip 30 somewhere.
That's damn straight it is. Your number 1 story on your top 5 at 9. Get ready for postseason football. The Minnesota Vikings, thanks to the Packers' win last night in Seattle, are in the playoffs. That's going to happen regardless of what happens from here on out. However, if the Vikings do win their final 4 games, which will be a chore, they will get the number 1 seed in the NFC. They will have a first-round bye. That would put them at 15-2, which would be, I don't know, 10 games more than we would have hoped before the season started. This was the, oh my God, we have Sam Darnold, woe is me, Vikings suck, drop the puck season of all time.
Yeah.
But no, not at all. Tonight, this team will find itself sitting at, 12-2. They should easily beat the Bears. This is the same Bears team that went to San Francisco a week ago and gained 4 yards in the first half. So yeah. I don't think it's too hopeful or optimistic to say that the Vikings will get a win tonight. And again, thanks to the Packers going out and winning in Seattle last night, they are now at worst a wild card team. But like I said, with the Detroit Lions losing at home last night, the Vikings now in control of their own destiny, run the table, and these gentlemen will play every playoff game at the U.S. Bank Stadium.
I'm thinking loser bowl. This is going to be the Bills and the Vikings settling it once and for all. Someone's got to win the damn Lombardi, the loser bowl coming up. That's why at the beginning of the season in Vegas, I put $100 on the Bills and Vikings in the Super Bowl. God, if I'd only done that. I wonder, what are we talking about? Hundreds of thousands of dollars? Bills were an obvious, but yeah.
Ryder, the reason it's important that the Vikings make it against the Bills for the Super Bowl, because both teams have 4 Super Bowl losses. With the Lions having never been to a Super Bowl, they don't deserve to go.
Wah.
That's how that goes. So you're just going to have to wait. You're going to have to lose 4 Super Bowls before you get to be in the loser bowl yourself.
Wait a second. Ryder's a Detroit Lions fan because I thought she was from Minnesota, yo.
That's right, yo.
Yo.
Yo from Minnesota, yo, Ryder, yo.
Yeah.
For anyone just joining us, those words came out of Ryder's mouth to a police officer. I'm from Minnesota, yo.
Well dressed as a porn star.
And on the day that a bunch of our equipment is actually broken, so now that story is lost to time forever.
Oh, no. I know a guy who knows a guy. Oberg. I want that drop.
There's your top 5 at 9. I think it's a perfect time to take a look back. Oh, here we go. On this day in 1972, the Miami Dolphins won their 14th game of a 14-game regular season. The first team to go unbeaten and untied. They went on to win the Super Bowl that year, the only undefeated team in league history. Apologies to the Bears of 85 and the Vikings of 98. Couple of great teams. The New England Patriots, the latest team to end the season with 1 loss. The Patriots, in whatever year that was with Randy Moss, sadly, their 1 loss came in the Super Bowl. That one really stung.
To the Giants, of all people. Of all teams.
Make it all the way to the end, and then you stumble. That's a rough one. On this day in 1973, O.J. Simpson broke Jim Brown's single season rushing record in the NFL. O.J. went for 2,003 yards again in a 14-game season. And then I'm not sure what happened to him. I think he kind of just retired to a quiet life in the country after that because we never heard about him again.
What a class act.
The best we ever produced.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.